Okay, let's talk about probably the most ridiculous myth about raw veganism, and that's the idea that raw food is boring, that it's just salads and fruit, that you're basically sentencing yourself to a life of bland, repetitive, rabbit food if you go raw. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard this, and honestly, it makes me laugh every single time because anyone who actually knows raw cuisine understands that it is one of the most creative, innovative, and downright delicious ways of eating out there. We're talking about raw pizza with cashew cheese and sun-dried tomato sauce, raw tacos with walnut meat and cashew sour cream, raw burgers that are so satisfying you won't miss the real thing, raw cheesecake that tastes better than any baked version you've ever had, raw wrap stuffed with incredible flavors and textures, raw ice cream so creamy and decadent you'll wonder why anyone bothers with dairy. This is not boring food, people. This is gourmet cuisine that happens to be made from living ingredients that actually nourish your body instead of depleting it. Let me show you what raw cuisine really looks like, because once you see the possibilities, your whole perspective shifts. Imagine a raw lasagna made with thinly sliced zucchini noodles, layered with a rich cashew ricotta cheese flavored with herbs and nutritional yeast, topped with a marinara sauce made from sun-dried tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, garlic, and basil, all finished with a macadamia nut parmesan. Every layer is bursting with flavor, the textures are incredible, and when you dehydrate it for a few hours, it warms up and the flavors meld together in this absolutely magical way. Or picture raw sushi rolls wrapped in nori sheets, filled with julienne vegetables, avocado, sprouted quinoa or cauliflower rice, and drizzled with a tamari ginger sauce. The colors, the crunch, the umami flavors. It's everything you love about sushi, but entirely plant-based and raw. How about raw pad thai with zucchini noodles tossed in a creamy almond butter sauce with lime, ginger, and a touch of maple syrup, topped with shredded carrots, purple cabbage, fresh cilantro, crushed peanuts, and a squeeze of lime. The sauce alone is so flavorful that you'll want to put it on everything. Or raw tacos with a walnut and sun-dried tomato taco meat that's been seasoned with cumin, chili powder, and smoked paprika, served in romaine or collard green wraps with fresh pico de gallo, guacamole, cashew sour cream, and some shredded lettuce. These tacos are so satisfying, so full of flavor and texture, that even hardcore meat eaters are impressed when they try them. And we haven't even gotten the desserts yet, which is where raw cuisine really shines. Raw cheesecake made with a crust of dates, nuts, and coconut, filled with a creamy cashew and coconut cream filling flavored with vanilla, lemon, and whatever fruit you want to add, whether that's strawberries, blueberries, mango, or chocolate. You freeze it for a few hours, and when you slice into it, it's smooth, creamy, perfectly sweet, and completely guilt-free because every ingredient is actually good for you. Raw chocolate mousse made from avocado, cacao powder, maple syrup, and vanilla, whipped until it's light and fluffy. It tastes like the richest, most decadent chocolate dessert you've ever had, and it's packed with healthy fats and antioxidants. Raw ice cream is another revelation. You can make banana ice cream, which is just frozen bananas blended until creamy with whatever flavors you want to add. Chocolate, peanut butter, strawberry, mint chip, the possibilities are endless. Or you can make cashew-based ice cream that's even more decadent, blending soaked cashews with coconut cream, natural sweeteners and flavors, then freezing it. I make raw ice cream at least once a week, and it satisfies every single craving without any of the dairy, refined sugar, or artificial ingredients that regular ice cream has. Now let me talk about the techniques that make all of this possible. Because raw cuisine isn't just about throwing ingredients in a bowl. There's real culinary artistry here. Sprouting is one of the foundational techniques. When you sprout grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, you're activating enzymes, increasing nutrient bioavailability, and creating ingredients that are more digestible and flavorful. Sprouted buckwheat becomes the base for raw granola. Sprouted lentils turn into incredible raw hummus or falafel. Sprouted sunflower seeds add a delicious crunch to salads and wraps. The sprouting process takes something dormant and brings it to life, literally. And that living energy translates to more vibrant flavors and textures. Fermenting is another game-changing technique. Raw sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickles are not only incredibly flavorful, but they're also probiotic powerhouses that support gut health. I make batches of fermented vegetables every couple of weeks, and they add this incredible tangy, complex flavor to any meal. You can also ferment nut cheeses, letting them sit at room temperature for a day or two to develop that sharp, aged cheese flavor that's so satisfying. Fermentation is how you get those deep, rich, funky flavors that people crave, and it's all done without any cooking. Dehydrating is probably the technique that opens up the most creative possibilities. A dehydrator operates at low temperatures, usually around 115 degrees Fahrenheit, which keeps food technically raw while removing moisture and concentrating flavors. You can make raw crackers, chips, cookies, bread, pizza crusts, burger buns, and so much more. I make flax crackers seasoned with herbs and spices that are perfect for dipping into hummus or guacamole. I make kale chips that are crispy and addictive. I make raw cookies loaded with nuts, seeds, dried fruit, and chocolate chips that taste like they came from a bakery. Dehydrating also allows you to make raw jerky from marinated mushrooms or nuts, and you can create chewy, satisfying textures that you just can't get from fresh ingredients alone. Blending is essential for creating smooth textures and incorporating lots of nutrients into one dish. High-speed blenders turn nuts into creamy sauces, soups, and dressings. They make smooth puddings, mousses, and ice creams. They blend frozen fruit into soft serve. A good blender is honestly one of the most important tools in a raw kitchen, because it allows you to create restaurant-quality textures at home. Food processing is how you create those meaty, crumbly textures that make raw versions of cooked food so convincing. When you pulse walnuts with sun-dried tomatoes and spices, you get a taco meat that looks and tastes remarkably like the real thing. When you process cauliflower, you get rice. When you process zucchini or other vegetables, you can create noodles and pasta alternatives. The food processor is your friend for creating texture and breaking down ingredients while keeping them raw. Let me share some of my absolute favorite raw fun foods that I make regularly. Raw pizza is at the top of the list. I make a crust from flax seeds, sun-dried tomatoes, and Italian herbs. Dehydrate it until it's crispy, then top it with cashew mozzarella, marinara sauce, vegetables, and fresh basil. It's absolutely incredible. Raw burgers made from sunflower seeds, walnuts, vegetables, and spices, formed into patties and dehydrated, served on portobello mushroom buns or wrapped in lettuce with all the fixings. Raw brownies made from dates, walnuts, cacao powder, and vanilla, so fudgy and rich that they disappear within minutes when I serve them to guests. Raw spring rolls with rice paper wrappers, which are technically raw and just need to be softened in water, filled with julienne vegetables, fresh herbs, avocado, and served with almond butter dipping sauce. Raw enchiladas with collard green wraps filled with seasoned vegetables and cashew cheese, topped with a red pepper sauce. Raw pesto made from fresh basil, pine nuts, garlic, nutritional yeast, and olive oil, tossed with zucchini noodles. Raw curry with coconut meat, curry spices, and fresh vegetables, served over cauliflower rice. Here's what people don't understand about raw food. It actually has more flavor, not less. When you cook food, you destroy enzymes, you break down nutrients, and you often need to add salt, sugar, oil, and heavy seasonings to make it taste good, because the cooking process has dulled the natural flavors. But with raw food, you're working with ingredients at their peak freshness and flavor. You're tasting the sweetness of a perfectly ripe mango, the peppery bite of fresh arugula, the richness of raw cacao, the creaminess of ripe avocado. These flavors are vibrant and alive, and when you combine them with herbs, spices, fermentation, and proper seasoning, you create dishes that are explosively flavorful. Raw cuisine also allows you to play with textures in ways that cooked food can't match. You get the crunch of fresh vegetables, the creaminess of nut-based sauces, the chewiness of dehydrated foods, the silkiness of blended desserts, all in one meal. Texture is such an important part of eating satisfaction, and raw food delivers incredible variety. The creativity involved in raw cuisine is also what makes it so fun and sustainable. You're constantly experimenting, trying new flavor combinations, discovering new techniques, adapting recipes to what's in season. So if anyone ever tells you that raw food is boring, just salads and fruit, invite them over for dinner and blow their mind with raw pizza, raw tacos, raw cheesecake, and raw ice cream. Show them what real creativity looks like. Show them that raw cuisine isn't about deprivation or limitation. It's about expanding your culinary horizons and experiencing food in its most flavorful, most nourishing, most alive state. Once you see what's possible, you'll never look at food the same way again.